Hey guys, Jordan for Pre-Condo here. Today we are talking about the 16 best downsizing condos, in my opinion, currently available on the pre-construction new build market. Important to note that what makes a great downsizing condo doesn't necessarily make a great investment condo and vice versa. For example, one of the most common things I would say is if you are looking to downsize into a condo building, one thing you're going to want to be aware of is building density and building demographics. So ideally you want to look for something on the boutique side of things, 200 units or less. It's going to be lower traffic, lower elevator issues, and generally speaking on the demographic side of things, you want to have the least amount of renters possible. So generally speaking, if you want a quiet, more livable building, the more people who own the unit that they live in, the more likely you're actually going to enjoy living in the building. There are some exceptions, and don't get me wrong, there are some beautifully executed high-rise buildings, but as a general rule of thumb, those boutiques are gonna do better for you, or are gonna serve your purposes better, especially if you're looking at downsizing and you want the accessibility of living somewhere with lots of restaurants and shops without the hassle of living in a condo. Boutique is gonna solve that for you. So I'm gonna go through the top 16 here. I'm gonna start with downtown, then we're gonna move to Midtown, West End, and then East End, and I'll timestamp all of it so you can skip around depending on what you're looking for. So the first project I want to talk about here is Aqualuna. Aqualuna is an amazing downsizer project. I have helped a number of clients downsize or buy condos to downsize in this particular development. It's just east of Queens Quay and Lower Sherbourne, and it's part of Tridel's four building Bayside community here. So obviously you have great water views. The building itself is stunning, okay? Well executed in terms of design. It's 225 units, 16 stories at its tallest. It's starting at 1.8 million, give or take, and the tentative occupancy date is summer of 2023. I tell people, generally speaking, add a year onto that, so summer of 2024. The finishes at Tridel are great. This is actually from Aqua Vista, one of the previous phases at the building, but Tridel's known for very high-end finishes, and I believe this is the 400 package, or the 500 package comes standard in this building. Here's another rendering of this particular build. Moving on to One Young. So One Young's a little more central, and I'm breaking my own rule with the boutique thing here. So with One Young, it's not a boutique by any means, okay? It's a 95-story tower. It is the tallest residential tower in Canada, and it is 835 units. There's also two other phases, a 65-story tower and a 80-story tower on the north side of the land. This is right at Queens Quay and Yonge, so it's where the Toronto Star building is. Just to the north of that, where that parking lot is, it's actually already under construction. The reason I bring this one into the mix is because despite it not being a boutique, if anyone can execute a building of this level, of this scale, in a perfect way, it's going to be Pinnacle. And the starting prices here are in the 900s, so you're not going to see an overwhelming amount of investors. You will see more end users than investors. I've sold a number of units here, and all of my clients, except for one, is an end user, somebody who's actually going to move into their units and live there. The other thing is it's a hotel residence mix, so it has all of the amenities of a hotel. It has restaurants, it has boutique shopping on the ground floor, and it has direct path connection, so you can walk to Union Station without ever exposing yourself to the brutal winters in Toronto here. This is a rendering of it. It is the tallest residential tower in Canada, very high-end finishes, and of course, Pinnacle is a great developer. So for that reason, I include One Young. Tentative occupancy is 2024. More realistically, it's going to be 2025 or 2026, and it's starting in the 900s. Next up, we move to another boutique at 123 Portland, right at Adelaide and Portland. This is a great building by Minto. Minto's an amazing developer with a ton of experience. Very simple, minimal Scandinavian design. Really, really like this project for end users. It is, I think, 116 units over 14 stories, starting from 1 million. Only 2 beds remaining, so I believe 1 million gets you about 850 square feet. Occupancy of 2023 or 2024, give or take. Okay, moving on to Midtown. We're gonna start with Empire Maven, which is just north of Avenue and DuPont. So it's just off Avenue here. Very simple, clean design. It's 7 stories, 58 units, and it's starting at 1.675. It's occupying a little sooner. It's already well under construction. If you live in this neighborhood or drive down Avenue, you've already seen it, you've noticed it. It's a great project. All end users purchasing in this type of development. Obviously, this neighborhood caters towards end users in general, not a lot of investors flooding into this area. And it's a great project. I mean, it's walking distance to Terrace, and what's not to love about that? Okay, moving on from Maven, we have Tridel's Auberge at Leslie and Eglinton, right at the Sunnybrook Park. So Tridel, another Tridel project. Tridel's amazing at delivering incredible product rate to spec. So the great thing about Tridel is what you see in the brochure is what you get. You know, their renders, they always deliver on the product as they said they were going to, as their marketing said they were going to. And they're obviously one of Toronto's largest and best developers. So Auberge is a 3-building complex here at Leslie and Eglinton. You have 402 units in one, 251 in the other, and 215 ranging in size from 29 stories through 45 stories, and there are still units left starting as low as the 900s. Depending on which phase you're looking at, it occupies as soon as 2022 and as late as 2024 for Chateau, the final phase of the project. Obviously, amazing views, and this is, you know, I think all of the clients that we've had purchase with us at Auberge are actually end users, so demographic-wise, going to be an amazing place to live. Show you some of the renders as well. So there's the buildings, interiors, and the pool. Okay, Freed's project, Annex. Annex is great. It's at Spadina and DuPont, so it's at the north end of the Annex. It is, you know, 75 meters from the subway station, so it's very accessible. It's 104 units over 13 stories. Okay, this is the south facade of the building. It's an incredibly sort of narrow or shallow but wide floor plan, so that you get these really wide floor plans that are just that have tons of window frontage, and so they're super bright floor plans. Freed, if you know anything about the developer, has done all of the coolest boutique buildings in King West. So 10 Morrison, Thompson Residences, basically, you know, 4 of the 5 best buildings in King West are by Freed. This is the penthouse, not the penthouse, this is the rooftop amenity, the pool that overlooks the city to the south. And because nothing to our south on DuPont is over 4 stories, you get just unobstructed city views when you're on the 5th floor and above that are just absolutely beautiful. Okay, moving on to 321 Davenport, just down the street, a kilometer down the street. You're at Davenport and Bedford. Obviously, you know, a very desirable place to be, walking distance to Yorkville, but a little bit quieter here of a community over here. It's 18 units over 8 stories, so incredibly exclusive building, probably the most exclusive boutique currently being built, starting at 1.3 million, going all the way up to 7 million, and they're looking at occupancy 2023 or 2024. Yeah, some of the units are just absolutely amazing. Whole floor units, half floor units, amazing finishes. This is one of my favorite projects for downsizers right now, around the 1,800, 1,750 a foot mark. 900 St. Clair. So this is my favorite value play right now. So 900 St. Clair is an amazing project by Canderel. It's at St. Clair West and Alberta, roughly. It's an amazing project. It's got this beautiful, simple brick facade, 122 units, and it's only 12 stories, starting from the 800s, and it works out to somewhere between 1,000 and 1,100 per square foot, which is absolutely astounding to be in this pocket of the city. If you're not familiar, this area of St. Clair West is tons of boutique shopping, lots of restaurants. It's very reminiscent of Bloor West, but with streetcars. So it's probably one of the most undervalued pockets of the city right now. I mean, I find oftentimes a lot of people don't even know about this neighborhood unless they've already lived there. But an amazing place to downsize. Everything is very walkable, and of course you have the streetcars that get you to Spadina. Okay, Huevo or Huevo. I think Huevo. This is a project in the Yonge and Davisville, Yonge and Egg area, so just south of the commotion at Yonge and Egg, a little bit quieter. Boutique built by SureCorp, 67 units across 11 stories. Units left are starting at in the 900s, going up to 3 million for the penthouse units. This is a photo from the actual sales office, so it gives you an idea of what the finishes look like. A beautiful boutique building. A lot of the suites have 10-foot smooth ceilings, which is really nice. You're looking at occupancy in 2023. Okay, let's talk about the West End. So the West End has quite a bit going on, actually. So the West End has, the first one I'm going to talk about is another Tridel. It is Edenbridge. It's right at the Humbertown Shopping Plaza, if you're familiar with the neighborhood. The vast majority of units here are well above $1 million. So there's very few 1 bedrooms and 1+ dens. Most units are 2 bedrooms and larger. So I have a couple 1+ dens left in the 700s, but most start above 1.2 million. It's 196 suites in total, over 9 stories, and completion is in 2023. It looks like this, and this is an interior suite rendering. Next up for the Kingsway, just down the street, we have Kingsway Crescent, which just launched by Harhay. They're selling very, very quickly. Yeah, this is a great project. Harhay delivers amazing, very unique, inventory. This is 102 units over 8 stories, starting from the 600s, 500s for 1 bedrooms, if there's any left, starting from the 600s for 1+ dens, and then starting from the 800s for the smaller 2 bedrooms. You can't see it here, but the south facade of the building has this sort of step design with a bunch of terraces that overlooks to the south. So really beautiful design and some great layouts in this build. Bijou on Bloor. So Bijou's right where South Kingsway meets Bloor, directly beside Tridel's existing buildings. It's where the theater is currently. This is by Plaza Corp, 195 units over 12 stories, starting in the 900s all the way up to nearly 3 million. To the north, you have really unobstructed views because of all the low-rise residential, really beautiful views. There's quite a bit left in this project. There's a good maybe 20 or 30%, so some really nice units left. The finishes are great. The standard finishes for 2 bedrooms are absolutely amazing. And this one's completing in 2023 or 2024. So Junction Point, another recently launched one. Junction Point is it's in the heart of the Junction. It's a really unique building. So architecturally, this is probably my favorite building in the city right now. Really, really incredibly unique. It has, from the brick screens on the exterior to just the beautiful finishes on the inside. This is definitely one of my favorite projects right now. 111 units over 8 stories, starting in the 500s, and from occupancy in 2023, realistically 2024. This is the Junction as a whole is a very undervalued neighborhood, in my opinion. I think we're going to see a ton of transition over the next decade or so, and this is right in the heart of it. So jumping to the waterfront really quickly here, Mirabella Condos. If you followed my content for any amount of time, you know I love Mirabella. Diamante is the developer here, an Italian builder. These are the same developer that's behind the Florian in Yorkville, which is one of the most expensive, exclusive condo projects in all of the city. Some units there trade like $1,700, $1,800 per square foot on the resale market, and units very, very, very rarely come up for sale. This is 748 units in two identical buildings with a 10-story podium with above-ground parking. Obviously, nothing can ever be built south of you. This is Humber Bay Shores Park. So if you get something with a water view here, it will always have a water view. And likewise, to the north, which is generally the bad view, you have High Park. So even the north views are beautiful. This one's taking occupancy in January of 2022, starting from the 700s. So I have a number of units left here, maybe 20% of the west building. Despite it not being a boutique per se, I have sold, 45, 50 units here. And the vast majority of my clients who purchased at Mirabella have been end users from the Kingsway, from Etobicoke, Downsizers. So it's going to probably have a really nice demographic. Switching up to the East End, so the Poet. The Poet is at Queen and Leslie. Fieldgate is the developer here. It's only 76 units across six stories. This particular project is probably my favorite on the East End for downsizers. Fieldgate's got a ton of experience in low-rise residential. They're branching off into boutique buildings now, and they're bringing some of that experience in the low-rise world to the boutique build. So you'll see a lot of nicer finishes in their product. And next up we have Terrace at Hunt Club. So this is all the way down on Kingston Road. I think we're at almost Kingston and Warden here. You're right across the street from the Hunt Club, so some beautiful views here. And of course, if you like golfing, this couldn't be a more convenient place to live. It's 32 units across 8 stories. They're all larger suites. All of them have very high-end standard finishes. So this is a project geared, once again, to end users. As always, guys, if you have any questions, jordan@precondo.ca, shoot me an email or leave me a comment. I get back incredibly quickly. And if you're looking to get into one of these projects or you're starting your downsizing search, just reach out to me. Let's connect. Let's have a quick chat about what you're looking for, and we'll see if I can help you out. Take care.